Got another flashlight to look at today from Wurkkos. This is the HD01 UV. Let's open it up and take a look. Hey, what's up YouTube? Dan the Fix-It Man. Got another quick video here for you. This company Wurkkos reached out to me and asked me if I'd be willing to take a look at their HD01 UV. Now this is a white light, UV light. It also has a little side LED light bar that is an RGB light. Let's open it up, see what comes in the box, and then we'll run through each of the different light functions and take it out at night to see what it looks like. It's got a little magnetic cover here on this little white box, and we do have a user manual in here. Now this is in several languages, but it does give some basic operating instructions here on the back. A little chart here shows the different levels of output, distance, and runtime. And this right here is a little flow chart that shows your user interface. We also have a little lanyard. I usually do attach a lanyard to my lights, and so I'll probably do that here in a minute. And here's the light. Let's take it out. It's a nice looking light. Now this is that flat style of EDC light that's becoming very popular nowadays. You can see we've got two emitters here in the front. One is going to be for the bright white and the other one is going to be that UV light. And then here on the side we have this light bar. The user interface is pretty straightforward. One click just turns it on, and that's also going to give us these green LED rings around the buttons here. That's letting us know that the remaining battery power is good. It's between 50 and 100%. If that were red, it means your remaining battery power is poor, or between 10 and 50%. And if that was flashing red, that would let you know that it's less than 10% and you need to get it charged. Now speaking of charging, it's got a little USB-C port here on the side with a little rubber cover, and it does come with the USB-A to USB-C charge cable. So we can get that plugged in and charged up here in a minute, but just wanted to kind of run through the rest of the user interface since the light did come charged. Now if you just press the forward button one click, it turns on into what they call memory mode, and that turns it on into the last used brightness level. You can press and hold that button and it'll cycle between those brightness levels, low, medium, and high. And if you click it one time, it will turn it off. Now you can also press and hold the forward facing button and that will turn on moonlight mode. Moonlight mode is very, very dim compared to the low, medium, and high. Now if you're in moonlight mode, you have the option of turning the light off just by pressing that one time and that turns it off. Or if you have it in the moonlight mode, you can also press and hold the button to cycle through low, medium, and high. And if you double click that forward facing button, you'll get to turbo. That's the brightest setting of this light, which is 1200 lumens. It's very, very bright. Let's click the button to get out of that turbo mode. Now, turbo mode, by the way, will work if the light is on or off. So you can double click it and it will jump straight to turbo. This also has a strobe feature, which is 3 clicks. So just a little bit of a warning if you have sensitivity to flashing lights. I'm gonna hit that real quick 3 times. And that's the strobe function. So it's gonna go through a few different flashing patterns. This also has a lockout feature. You just press the forward facing button 4 times and that will lock the light. So there it is, flashing twice, letting you know that it's locked. So if you try to turn it on, if you press that button, it flashes to let you know that it's locked. In order to unlock the light, just hit it 4 times again. And now it's unlocked. Now for the rear button here, if we do 1 click, that turns on our UV light. So here's some US currency that I laid out, and I'm just doing some footage here with the iPhone because otherwise it's not really showing up very well on the GoPro. But if you put that UV light over a $5 bill, you will see there's a blue strip inside there that otherwise doesn't show up. On the $10 bill, we have an orange colored strip right here. Now on the $20 bill, it's more of like a fluorescent green, and it's over here on the edge. A $50 bill is again kind of that orangish yellow color. And then on the $100 bill, it's kind of a fluorescent red strip that's over here on the left side. But you can see without the UV light, those don't show up at all. Another thing that you can do with the UV light is hunt for scorpions. Now I don't have any real scorpions here, but these plastic glow-in-the-dark scorpions do work pretty well for this. And take a look at how bright they glow as soon as you hit them with the UV light. This would make a fun game for kids if you just hand them this UV light, scatter these plastic bugs or scorpions in the grass and let the kids find them. And a UV light is also very helpful if you're looking for pet stains, trying to train your pet, or if you dare, you can take this into a hotel room and verify that everything's been cleaned properly. So again, 1 click to the rear button turns that UV light on, and 1 click to the rear button will turn it off. Now in order to get into the side RGB function, you just press and hold that button. That turns on this side light bar in the ramping function. You can hold that on and it will continue to ramp and change colors. You see it's going from the orange to a green to a blue and then more of a purple color, back to a red, and to the orange again. If you double click the rear button when you're in this RGB ramp mode, it will just flash whatever color it's on. Press and hold, that will change the color again. Let's change it to a blue, and let go, and it's still in that flashing mode. 2 clicks again will get it out of the flashing mode, and it's just that solid RGB light. And 1 click will turn that off. Now if you double click the rear button, that turns on a side floodlight. And this does have a few different levels. Press and hold, and that will cycle through low, medium, and high. And then 1 click will turn it off. Now, if you press that rear button 3 times or 3 clicks, it's gonna get into some flashing modes. The first mode here, they call it police mode. It's red and blue flashing. You press 2 clicks again, it's gonna change into what they call RGB waterfall. And 2 clicks again, and that's what they call droplets. That's a pretty fun added feature to this light. You can see that those droplets just continue to change colors. And 1 button again turns that off. Now if you press the rear button 4 times, it will also lock or unlock the light. Gives you that double flash, letting you know that it is locked out. And same thing with the rear button, you can press it 4 times to unlock the light. Now it's unlocked and it's in the UV mode, so let's turn that off. If we hit the rear button 5 times, that changes the breathing switch to on or off. So let's hit that 5 times. And you can see the charge indicator is on, and it's breathing. That would be a great feature to have on if you're worried about not being able to find this in the dark. But if you don't want to have that on, just hit those 5 clicks and that will turn that off. There you go. Well, that's pretty much the user interface. It does have a really nice 2-way clip here on the back. Clip that into a shirt pocket. Now that might be a little big for my preference on a hat, but you can use it if you want. Now it also does have a magnetic tail cap, so this will stand on something that's metal or attach even under a hood or under a sink, depending on whatever it is you're working on. You can turn on that side light and you've got a really nice work light. By the way, you can use both the side and the front light at the same time, which is pretty unique. A lot of these lights that have a side light bar and a front facing light, you can't use both. On this one, you can. And it also has a sealed battery. This battery is not replaceable or serviceable. Once that battery is done, the light is done. But it seems like a lot of light manufacturers are going that way now, and really doesn't concern me too much. It actually probably will help with the waterproof rating. Well, that's pretty much it. I think what we'll do is get this charged up fully, and then as soon as it gets dark, we'll head down to the park and we'll run it through each of those light modes so you can see what this looks like in the dark, and then we'll come back here and wrap this up. All right, I've got the HD01 fully charged up and ready to go here. So let's go ahead and press and hold that front button for our moonlight mode. Really doesn't put out too much light. We'll press and hold. That is low. You can see it's lighting up a little bit more of that grassy area. We'll press and hold again. That is medium. You can see that it is putting some light a little bit farther out on the grass. And if we press and hold again, there is high. You can see it gets out a little bit farther to that tree line. And then if we double click, that brings it up to turbo. Turbo is really lighting up the trees back there. Really lights up this entire field. Now I'm going to go into the strobe feature by pressing that front button 3 times. Just a little bit of a warning if you have sensitivity to flashing lights. That just kind of alternates a flashing emergency strobe. Now, as far as that back button, we'll go ahead and just press that 1 time. That turns on the UV light. You can see it really does put the UV light out there quite a ways, which will be great for finding those scorpions or anything that does light up or glows in the dark. And if we press and hold that side button, that gives us the RGB. You can see that it memorized the color. The last color that I had lit up was blue, but if we press and hold that button in the RGB ramping and cycle through all of those different colors, and if we press that rear button twice, really nice work light here on the side. And again, you can change the brightness levels by pressing and holding that button. Right there is the lowest setting for the work light or the light bar here. That's medium. Again, on the side light only, and then press it again, and that's high. You can see that this is a really nice work light. Really lights up the space. And then press it again to turn it off. And then we can get into the flashing functions by triple pressing the rear button here. And that gives us our police flash. Double press, and that goes into the waterfall, kind of the rainbow RGB effect. And then double click again, and it's the droplets. And then click it again, and it's off. Well, that's pretty much it. Let's head back to the shop and wrap this up. Well, as you can see, it's a very powerful little light. Definitely throws a lot of light for how small it is. And those other additional light features are pretty fun. Having that UV light as a part of this is really nice because even though I have some dedicated UV lights, I don't always have them with me. And I love the fact that I can use this as an EDC. Has a really nice, powerful, bright front light, but also has the UV option. And of course has the RGB for maybe a little bit of fun. You know, you're not going to use that red and blue flashing light unless you are law enforcement. It's not legal for a civilian here in the US to use red and blue flashing lights, but you can use that nice side lantern function, which is also very bright. Again, using this to work under a hood or even under a sink. You know, in the automotive world, it's nice to have a UV light. You know, it helps with sockets like these. These are the high-vis sockets from Astro. There's also a lot of UV leak detection dyes that you can add to your air conditioning refrigerant or even to your power steering fluid or even in your oil or your crankcase. It can help you find where that leak is coming from. But that's pretty much everything. I hope you guys liked the video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you don't mind. That does help me out. Of course, I'll get a link in the description where you can pick up the HD01 UV from Wurkkos as well. Thanks so much for watching and good luck.